Okay, get ready to dive into some seriously mystical waters. You've sent over selections from their Anurag Sagar von Kabir Ocean of Love, pages 586 to 613. Think of this deep dive as your shortcut to ancient wisdom. We're talking Nad, Shabd, the embodied word, and how to navigate this crazy thing called life with the help of a guru. Are you ready to unlock some cosmic secrets?
Absolutely. These texts are like a treasure map, full of symbolic language and imagery that honestly can make your head spin a little. But that's part of the fun, right? Deciphering the clues, peeling back the layers to reveal these profound truths about existence.
Exactly. And the deeper you go, the more it all connects. Take this whole nod thing, for example. It's described as this primordial sound current, the source of all creation. I mean, how wild is that? Like the universe was sung into being.
Yeah, it's a powerful image. And what's fascinating is that this nad isn't just some abstract concept. It's intimately linked to our own spiritual awakening. The text says that from this nad, the Incomparable word, or embodied word, is born. Think of it like this. The universe is vibrating with divine energy, and this embodied word is like a pure expression of that energy, a guide for those seeking liberation.
Okay, I'm with you so far. So this embodied word, this guide, it's awakened by something called Shabd, right? But then it gets kind of weird because the text also says that it's protected from Kal by Kal. So which is it? Is Kal a friend or foe?
That's where the real head-scratching begins. And this is where it's important to remember that we're dealing with a different way of thinking, a way of understanding reality that goes beyond our usual linear logic. The text is highlighting the paradoxical nature of these forces. Kal represents time, decay, the destructive forces of the universe, but also the power of transformation.
So Kal is kind of like a two-sided coin. It can both hinder and help on the spiritual path.
Exactly. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kal can be a powerful force for growth, even if it shows up in ways that are initially challenging or even destructive.
Okay, I think I'm starting to wrap my head around this whole Kal thing.
Yeah.
But where does the guru fit into all of this? The text is pretty adamant about their importance. It even says that trying to navigate the spiritual landscape without a guru is like trying to cross an ocean without a boat. You're bound to drown, and you might even take others down with you.
The guru's role is absolutely crucial. They act as a guide, a mentor, a spiritual beacon in this dark world, as the text describes it. Remember how the text talks about the embodied word being protected by Kal? Well, the guru embodies that protective aspect of Kal, helping us to navigate the challenges and pitfalls on the spiritual path.
So the guru helps us to understand and work with these powerful forces like Nad, Shabd, and even Kal. They're like our personal Sherpa through the Himalayas of spiritual awakening.
That's a great analogy. They help us to make sense of the map, to avoid the treacherous crevasses, and to ultimately reach the summit of spiritual realization.
The text really stresses the importance of complete surrender to the guru, accepting their teachings as absolute truth. That's a big leap of faith, wouldn't you say?
It is. But think of it this way. You wouldn't question the instructions of a surgeon in the middle of an operation, right? You trust their expertise, their knowledge. It's the same with the guru. They've already traversed the path. They know the terrain. Surrender, in this context, isn't about blind obedience. It's about trusting in a wisdom that's greater than your own.
Okay, I can see how that makes sense. Now, you mentioned that the text describes this world as being dark. It also introduces this concept of bind, which sounds a lot like the source of that darkness. It talks about bind as this force of attachment and illusion, something that clouds our judgment and makes us forget our true spiritual knowledge.
Bind is like a dense fog that rolls in and obscures our vision. It's the force that keeps us trapped in the cycle of birth and death, constantly chasing after fleeting pleasures and material possessions. Think of those times you've been so caught up in work, relationships, or even just your to-do list that you forget about the bigger picture. That's bind at work.
So bind is basically the opposite of enlightenment. It keeps us stuck in the shadows, while the guru and this whole concept of nam are trying to guide us towards the light.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of iksult, or egotism, comes into play. The text suggests that this self-centeredness, this constant need to grasp and control, is what fuels bind. It's like throwing fuel on the fire of our attachments, keeping us trapped in a cycle of desire and suffering.
So we've got these powerful forces at play. Nad, the source of creation. Shabd, which awakens the embodied word. Kal, the force of both destruction and transformation. Bind, the fog of attachment and illusion. And isukt, or egotism, which keeps us trapped in bind. And then we have the guru, who acts as our guide through all of this. Is there anything I'm missing?
You're catching on quickly. But there's one more crucial element: vertrauen, or trust. The text repeatedly emphasizes the importance of trust in the guru, trust in the teachings, and ultimately trust in yourself, in your own inner wisdom.
Right, because if we don't trust, then even with the best guide in the world, we're not going to get very far, are we?
Exactly. Vertrauen is like the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, the teachings won't take root, and we'll constantly be second-guessing ourselves in the journey.
So, how does someone develop this vertrauen, this deep trust? Is it something you're born with, or is it something you can cultivate?
That's a question we'll explore more deeply in the next part of our deep dive. But for now, I'll leave you with this thought. The text suggests that vertrauen is often born out of experience. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you need someone to hold on, to guide you. But eventually, you find your balance, you gain confidence, and you're able to ride on your own.
So trust is something that deepens and evolves as we progress on the spiritual path.
Precisely. It's not a destination, but a journey. Just like everything else in this incredible tapestry of spiritual awakening.
I'm definitely intrigued to learn more about how we can cultivate this vertrauen, this trust, and how it plays out in the context of the guru-disciple relationship. But for now, let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive back into this fascinating exploration of der Anurag Sagar von Kabir. All right, so we're back. And I'm still thinking about this whole vertrauen thing, this trust, as the foundation of the spiritual path. It's like, without trust, we're building our spiritual house on shaky ground, right?
Exactly. And the text offers some fascinating insights into how we can actually cultivate this trust. Remember how it talks about recognizing the signs of those who have sat name within them? That's a key piece of the puzzle.
Right. It describes them as being unfazed by kal, kind of like they've got this inner peace that can't be shaken by the ups and downs of life. And they're free from lust, anger, and greed. Basically, they're walking, talking embodiments of all the virtues we aspire to.
Precisely. And the text uses a striking image to describe how they carry the teachings of the Sat Guru, like a snake carrying a jewel on its head. It's a symbol of the precious wisdom they hold within, guiding their every thought, word, and action.
So it's not just about talking the talk, but walking the walk. Their actions are a testament to their inner transformation.
Exactly. And this is where discernment comes in. The text warns against those who merely pay lip service to the teachings, who claim to have name but don't embody it in their lives. It's like someone who talks a big game about generosity but then won't even share their lunch.
Right. Actions speak louder than words. But how can we tell the difference between genuine spiritual growth and just a superficial facade? It seems like bind could easily trick us into following someone who's all show and no substance.
You're hitting on a crucial point. The text reminds us that bind, that force of illusion and attachment, is incredibly seductive. It can ensnare even those who are sincerely seeking spiritual growth. Remember that passage about how clinging too tightly to family, wealth, and status can lead people astray from the spiritual path? That's bind, whispering sweet nothings in their ears.
It's like that saying, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a really convincing imitation. So how do we avoid falling into that trap? How do we develop that discernment to see through the illusions of bind and recognize true spiritual depth in ourselves and others?
The text suggests that one of the keys is cultivating our connection with the Warren name, the true name, that divine essence within. It's about looking beyond the external trappings, the titles, possessions, and social status, and recognizing the light of name shining through.
So it's about looking for that inner glow, that spark of divinity, rather than being distracted by the shiny objects of the material world.
Exactly. It's about cultivating an inner compass, trusting that intuition that whispers, "This feels true," even when it goes against the grain of societal expectations or our own preconceived notions.
That makes sense. But what about those times when we're feeling lost and uncertain? What if we haven't found a guru, or we're not sure if we're ready to fully surrender to a teacher? Does that mean we're doomed to wander aimlessly in the dark world of bind?
Not at all. The text offers a reassuring message for those who find themselves in that situation. It suggests that even in the absence of a physical guru, there's an inner guru, a divine spark within each of us that can guide us.
So it's like we all have an inner compass, an inner GPS that can help us navigate the spiritual terrain. But how do we access that guidance?
The text points to practices like meditation, chanting Nam, and selfless service as ways to quiet the mind, purify the heart, and awaken us to our true nature. These practices help us to tune in to that inner wisdom, that voice of the soul, or as the text calls it, the seal it.
So it's about creating space for that inner wisdom to emerge, to guide us, not just intellectually understanding the concepts, but actually embodying them, living them, and allowing that inner transformation to unfold.
You got it. It's about recognizing that spiritual awakening is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It's about taking one step at a time, trusting our intuition, and being open to the guidance that's always available to us, both from within and from the world around us. And sometimes that guidance comes in the most unexpected forms.
Like the story of MP, the man from Germany who's mentioned in the text. He went through a period of intense doubt and questioning, even encountering information that contradicted what his guru had taught him.
Exactly. His story is a powerful testament to the importance of Vertrauen, trust. Despite his doubts, he ultimately chose to trust in the wisdom of his guru and the teachings he'd received.
And what happened? Did his faith pay off?
Absolutely. The text tells us that by staying true to his path, by trusting in his guru and the teachings, he was able to overcome his doubts and reach a deeper level of spiritual understanding.
His story is so inspiring. It shows that even when we're faced with challenges, even when doubts creep in, it's possible to find our way back to that place of trust and continue on the path. But it takes courage, right?
You said it. The text emphasizes that it takes a tapfer, a courageous one, to consistently follow the guru's teachings, to confront their own shadows, and challenge deeply ingrained patterns and beliefs.
It's about being willing to step outside our comfort zones, to embrace the unknown, even when it feels scary or uncomfortable.
Precisely. The text compares the spiritual journey to crossing a vast ocean. It's not for the faint of heart, but the rewards are immeasurable.
Speaking of rewards, the text mentions reaching the Sakkan, the realm of truth, as the ultimate goal of this spiritual journey. What's that all about? Is it like a mystical paradise?
It's more than just a physical place. It's a state of being, a level of consciousness where we experience the fullness of our true nature, our unity with the divine. It's the culmination of a lifetime of spiritual practice, of purifying the mind and heart, and aligning ourselves with the Warren name.
So it's not just about escaping this dark world, but about transforming ourselves from the inside out, becoming vessels of light and love.
Exactly. And the text suggests that this transformation is not just an individual pursuit. It has implications for the world around us. Remember how it talks about the Ocean der Liebe, the ocean of love, as a metaphor for the interconnectedness of all things?
Yes, it's like we're all waves in the same ocean, ultimately connected to the same source.
Exactly. And as we purify our own hearts and minds, as we awaken to that love within, it naturally ripples outward, influencing and inspiring those around us.
So our spiritual practice, our journey of awakening, is not just about our own personal liberation, but about contributing to the collective evolution of humanity.
Beautifully put. It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected, and that our individual journeys of awakening are ultimately contributing to a greater tapestry of love, compassion, and wisdom.
That's such a powerful and inspiring message. It gives me hope that even amidst the darkness, even amidst the challenges of the world, there's a light shining through, guiding us towards a brighter future.
That's the power of these ancient teachings. They offer timeless wisdom that's just as relevant today as it was centuries ago. They remind us that the journey of awakening is within our grasp, that we have the power to transform ourselves and the world around us.
Speaking of transformation, I'm curious to delve deeper into the concept of Nam. The text keeps hinting at its power, but I'm still a little fuzzy on the details. What exactly is Nam, and how does it relate to this whole process of spiritual awakening?
That's a fantastic question, and it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive. The concept of Nam is central to understanding the teachings of the Anurag Sagar von Kabir, and it's key to unlocking the secrets of spiritual liberation.
Okay, now you've got me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to unravel this mystery of name and how it can help us navigate this dark world and reach that ocean of love. Let's take another quick break, and then we'll dive back into this fascinating exploration. All right, let's dive back in. We've been circling this idea of name throughout our deep dive, and I'm ready to go from fuzzy understanding to crystal clear. What is this mysterious name, and why is it so vital?
Imagine a world flooded with light, a light that banishes shadows and reveals the true nature of reality. That's the power of naming. It's not just a word, but a vibration, a sound current that connects us to the very source of creation. Remember NAD, that primordial hum we talked about? Name is like tuning into that cosmic frequency.
Okay, that's a powerful image. So it's less about intellectually grasping what name is and more about experiencing its transformative power directly.
Precisely. The text emphasizes that intellectual understanding alone won't cut it. It's like reading a recipe for apple pie. You can know all the ingredients and steps, but until you actually taste the pie, you haven't truly experienced it. Name is similar.
So how do we actually taste this name, apple pie? How do we move from head knowledge to heart experience?
That's where the practice comes in. The text mentions chanting or meditating on name as a way to directly connect with its power. It's about allowing that sound current to wash over you, to penetrate your very being.
So it's about repetition, about immersing ourselves in the vibration of name until it becomes a lived experience rather than just a concept.
Exactly. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, the words might sound foreign, unfamiliar. But through consistent practice, through immersing yourself in the sounds and rhythms, you begin to internalize it. It becomes a part of you.
That makes perfect sense. But we've also talked about the importance of the guru on this path. Where does the guru fit in with this whole name practice?
The guru plays a vital role in guiding us toward the true essence of Nam. Remember, the text warns against those who merely pay lip service to the teachings. A true guru helps us distinguish between the superficial and the profound, guiding us towards an authentic experience of Nam.
So it's not enough to just chant any word and hope for the best. The guru helps us connect with the true essence of Nam, the vibration that leads to genuine spiritual awakening.
Exactly. They provide the map, the guidance, the support to ensure we're headed in the right direction. Think of them as a skilled musician guiding a student's hand on an instrument. They show us how to hold the instrument, how to strike the right notes, how to create beautiful music instead of just noise.
That's such a helpful analogy. But even with the best teacher and a deep practice of Nam, we're still human, right? We're still going to face challenges, doubts, maybe even setbacks on this path. How do we navigate those inevitable bumps in the road?
You've hit on a key point. The text is very realistic about the challenges we'll encounter. Remember the metaphor of the dark world. That darkness represents the challenges, the doubts, the internal battles we all face on the spiritual path. And the text is clear. It takes courage, Tapferkeit in German, to keep going even when it gets tough.
It's like that saying, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. It's the challenges that shape us, refine us, and ultimately make us stronger.
Absolutely. And the text reminds us that we don't have to face these challenges alone. We have the support of the guru, the power of Nam, and ultimately the divine spark within us, the Ciel, to guide and support us.
So even when we stumble, even when we lose our way, there's always a way back to the path, a way to reconnect with that inner compass, that Ciel guiding us towards the light.
Precisely. It's about cultivating that vertrauen, that trust, not only in the guru and the teachings, but also in ourselves, in our own innate capacity for growth and transformation.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've journeyed through the mystical landscape of Der Anurag Sagar Han Kabir, explored concepts like Nad, Shabd, Kal, and Bind, and uncovered the transformative power of Nam. And it sounds like more than anything, it's this vertrauen, this trust, that will allow us to really embody these teachings.
Absolutely. Trust is essential. And remember, this journey of awakening, it's not about becoming perfect. It's about showing up authentically, stumbling, learning, and growing along the way.
Beautifully said. So to our listeners, keep asking those big questions, keep seeking guidance, and most importantly, trust in the unfolding of your own unique spiritual journey. Until next time, may your path be filled with light and love.